It's probably.
There you go.
All right, everyone, it's 7 o'clock. This is the October 27th Newcastle Select Board meeting, calling to order. And first, any amendments to the agenda? Okay, hearing none. Moving to minutes of the previous meetings, October 14th.
I'll move that we approve them as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, good.
Karen made motion, Rufus was a second. Is there any discussion on this?
The only thing I was wondering under new business A, the last sentence, or the second to last one, he also stated that this would be a yearly decision made by the voters. I think we discussed that and Kevin said it will be up to us,
That's true.
not by the voters. I mean, we can seek input, but we're not planning on having a vote on that because we would have to have that on the warrant for June to whether or not people would want to do it for next year when they hadn't had a chance to even do it yet.
I think it's up to us whether it's a referendum
Yeah.
vote or not. And I think the straw poll that we took basically at the last town meeting was just that. So moving forward, it'll be up to us whether we
Right.
elect to do that or not.
But we probably need to change that, but
Just change the word voters to board.
yeah, that the board would decide yearly. Because I think we have to, if I remember correctly, we have to vote on that every year anyhow. Yeah.
Yep,
Okay, so
we do.
just make with that little amendment that the board will decide.
Okay, anything else? Okay, hearing no other comments, we'll take a vote to approve last meeting's agenda. I mean, meeting minutes as amended. Okay, motion passes with 5 members and public comments on items not on the agenda. Mr. Levesque.
Just two things. Now maybe that was more as I go along. First thing, David Levesque, 35th Street. Last January or so, you hired consultants to guide the town in negotiations for a cable franchise contract, and I wanted to check on the status of that and if you're getting what you expected out of the consultants, because I don't think we have a contract yet. Do we? And I know Kevin's not here. He may be able to answer it better, but
He would be the man to answer that question because I really can't. Unless Michelle, do you have any input?
oh,
So we're still between the law changes, we contracted with Castle Valley. And so they are working on and I'm waiting to hear back. They're
Okay.
still making sure all the changes are in what we need and then so it's still in the works, but it's a little bit of stopping now.
and that contract is continued on
Right now,
into the new budget year as well.
yeah, we're operating on the old one until we get that. And then we'll come.
Okay. Second one, just want to put my county commissioner hat on and thank the town for being involved in the budget process and representing the town in the process. It's good to see that the town is willing to help with the process and have a say, obviously, in that process. And with that say, we can help keep the budget under control the best we can, which helps you keep your budget under control as best we can. So thank you for sending Karen into the jaws of the numbers. Yes, well, good snacks help when you got to try to stay awake with those numbers. So thank you for that.
And it's good town representation.
So yes, our district is District 3, and we have 3 seats in the committee. We have Karen from Newcastle, we have Dan Hunter from Damascotta, and Brett, I'm blanking on his last name, from Whitefield, representing our district. And there's the 2 other districts each have 3, but I'm not sure if they're fully filled or not, if there were 9 people around the table or not, for the committee. Yeah, about that. But in the future, please do keep sending representatives to the committees. It sometimes is just a routine process, but it's also to have a voice at the table, and I appreciate it.
And I felt like we had input that will be listened to.
Yes, definitely.
How many,
Yeah.
how many seats are on the committee table?
So each district has 3 seats, so there would be 9
Okay.
positions.
Uh-huh.
And they're sort of staggered position. I think, Karen, did you get the one that's for the 1 year? She's doing a 1-year thing. Dan actually took one that's for 3 years,
Mhm.
and Brett has the 2 years, so they'll stagger every year.
Great.
And was the gentleman from Noblesboro the chair, or who was voting chair?
I was on his chair and I couldn't see his name today,
Okay.
but he was not with the.
Okay, anyways, they, out of that group, they elect a chair that runs the meeting. Which happened on October 17, and then if you're all curious, on this Thursday, the committee is going to give information to the commissioners explaining their votes, and they made a really interesting vote in one aspect, and I'm sure they'll get lots of questions on why that they voted $1 for a certain department. So we'll see what that's all about come Thursday. So you're welcome to join us. It will be again back at the regional planning building across from Sweets in Wiscasset, but 1 o'clock on Thursday.
Is it recorded and aired?
No, it may be, I'm not sure if we do voice recording, but we haven't zoomed it before. So,
Okay, so no video recording to speak of.
although it sounds like that would have been handy in the last one, just to document things, but maybe it allowed some people to talk more freely. I don't know. I would hope that even with cameras rolling, they're speaking their mind and asking the questions that need to be asked, and making the votes that they need to make.
So show up 1 o'clock on the 30th.
Yes,
for the next meeting.
great. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Hello, I'm Katharina Kewen and I live in Noblesboro.
You know you know.
Screwed up my one appearance.
I love it. Let's start over.
All right, thank you.
I'll go in bloopers.
I was just saying, my claim to fame is I live 2 houses behind the shed. That's my claim to fame.
I love it.
I'm going to make a few comments. I actually came here to talk about Halloween. But the first thing I'd like to do is thank you. You guys put a lot of time in, sometimes not appreciated, and I wanted to thank you. Second thing is, I really appreciate Kevin's emails that he sends out, and I actually read most of them.
Cool.
So I wanted to thank him for that. The third thing is, I know you're going to be making some difficult decisions in the future about roads and parking areas and all of that. And I went to some of the meetings about how to change the intersections. And one of the things I'd like you to consider is the green spaces. It sounds so wonderful, but if you don't have the money to take care of them, I know where, since I live right in downtown Newcastle, that they're not very well taken care of. And I know it's really expensive. And I know for 5 years I volunteered to take care of a little plot. And something to consider when you say, okay, we're going to have this green space, who's going to take care of it and what is it going to cost? So it's a wonderful idea, but it needs to be financed. And I thank you.
Thank you.
I just have a quick PSA. Since we're still in public comments, this morning I was talking with a customer in Wiscasset and I called Sam about this because I think it's good for everybody to know. He was involved in a scam, someone claiming to be, he's going through planning board process in Wiscasset to get his project. He's actually, I think, there right now. But anyhow, he was contacted by email from someone claiming to be, I think from the Lincoln County Regional Office or something like that. And trying to basically get money out. And it looked very official. It was, I think, titled from the Planning Commission, not the Planning Board. So there were a few things that were a little bit off, but it was, they had a lot of publicly available information about him, the property that he owned, his business name, all of these things. And luckily, when he got to the bank, they were like, wait, who's this money for? And that stopped the process, but it was very convincing. So that being said, obviously there's a scam afoot. So maybe people that are in planning or approval status should be warned that this is a possibility. The first thing I did was call the town office and just like, heads up, guys, this is going on in Wiscasset. I think small towns are a soft target.
Mhm.
And so scammers are going after us. So just be really aware. Anybody that might be working on permitting, anybody that's coming before the planning board, just let them know to be really, make sure that who they're dealing with is who they're actually dealing with, and maybe make the phone call, don't just answer the email. So
I think,
definitely not. I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't even that sketchy. I think it was a wire transfer, but it was a little more above board than go to Rite Aid and get a gift card. It was a little more than that. So
That's a great thing. We can include something in the application package. Page orange or yellow or pink slip that says the town will never request a wire transfer from you.
Yeah.
Only supply payment to town officials in person, blah, blah, blah.
the more people know about it, the less likely it is to catch it.
Yeah.
So just be aware.
so Ben, you say you do that already, or it's a good idea? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, just some two-factor authentication before any money exchange of hands might be a good sort of.
Yeah.
Yes, only checks in person or something. I don't. Just wouldn't want to- It was like thousands of dollars.
Yeah. So I wonder, if this is a thing, I don't know. This is the first time I heard about it, but
he's somebody that he talked to, it was like the second time that they come to it.
okay. Oh,
So it's a thing.
so hopefully they reached out to the sheriff, and
Yeah.
maybe the attorney general would like to know as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did. I mean, again, this is in Wiscasset, so but I think it was maybe using a county official's
Mhm.
name. So it's like, there's a lot of sort of moving parts there.
Yeah.
Just, and that's what he said. He was like, I'm so glad that the bank actually was like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah,
And, they were aware, but
yeah. Huh.
the fact that that he got to the bank.
Yeah.
Is a little bit,
Yeah.
scary.
Well, there's a lot of, when you're not used to a planning process, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
A lot of tension, and you're just trying to follow the rules, and you don't know.
I mean, there are fees associated with,
There is, yeah.
with the planning process. And if you haven't done it before or haven't done it in a while, you probably don't know what those fees actually are or
Exactly
what they're
right.
likely to be. So anyhow, just want to bring that up.
All right, thanks. Any other comments? Okay, hearing none, moving on to unfinished business, provider agency funding request policy. So, last meeting, we made a request to the town manager to, make some edits. I believe the town manager, reached out to a select board member to, and understand what, Ben, your ideas were on that, call you out on that, but I think, what we have now is a, marked up copy, so, if you've had time to review it, and read it, I don't know, Michelle, do you wanna, are you familiar with this?
I am.
Yeah.
Whatever. I wrote it. but
Yeah.
We worked on it together.
We did, and
But if you explain your addition.
Yeah,
that will-
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. All right, I'll do that. All right,
It
so,
was two under tier one, this second section mostly.
yeah, let's start in the item commentary there where, so in order to organize my thoughts, it's just the way I think. I wanted to be very clear about why I was thinking the things that I was thinking. That's why I structured it with the whereas. And Kevin doesn't like that, that's fine, we don't have to include them that way, however. I would like there to be some substantive language to all of our policies. That do more than just say this is the policy. I would like there to be, this is the reason for the policy. These are the thoughts that have gone into the policy, you know, language that. Descriptive language that would exist within the policy for future boards. And for future, and whoever it may impact to understand what the thinking was the last time that we amended it.
Mhm.
And so at the moment, it's been stripped out. I'd like to see if there's some way we can put it back in, because I think it is important. And in particular, the second reason, because I wanted it to be very clear that in regards to provider agencies, what I was looking to establish, at least in the tier one situation, as defined here, was that there should be a clear vetting process. That we all understand, that the applicants understand, and that they are, and there should be some reasonable definitions against which things are judged. Does that make sense? Without that, we are sitting here going, that sounds good to me. And that does not seem like a reasonable way to conduct business of you know, financial nature. Like there should be some reasoning behind these things. So that's why I wanted those in there. So the second thing was in the tier one, the vetted in two different ways. So major change that I wanted to suggest was that you could either do a formal petition and go through the formal petition process. And just spell it out, that if you went through that process, you selected the signatures, it would go straight on the warrant. It would not be, that would be the vetting process. You've approached X number of Newcastle residents. And just like the law clearly states, any petition that does that goes straight on the warrant. This select board has no authority to change or alter it in any. And I wanted to make that very clear. But the converse, I think, is also true. I wanted to make it really clear that if you don't go through the petition process as a new provider agency requesting funds, that the select board will have the authority to discuss, debate, modify, or not include your funding request on. And so give those potential full understanding that you can choose to do either one, but here's the rules we're gonna use going forward.
Mhm.
So that's all I was trying to say.
Yeah, and I think the second option, so the first option where you're petitioning the residents for signatures, that's new, right?
It's new as a formal part of the policy.
Policy, exactly, that's what I'm saying. The other part of, basically petitioning the select board, and having to show up in person, that's basically what. So I think the new part, is the first part, which I think is great. I mean, I think that's great. Gives you the option to someone, an organization to say, hey, this is what we need money for. Do you think it's worth it? So I think that's good. My comment on the, I don't know, let me ask this. Does this satisfy? It sounds like this doesn't exactly satisfy what you were after when you started to explain, what you're looking for in
Not fully.
minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the way I understood it was kind of explaining a little bit more about the reasoning behind it. But the other thing I would say is if there's a way to tag the reasoning or the backstory basically as not part of the policy, but as kind of an explainer or some kind of other narrative.
Introduction.
What?
An introduction or
Maybe,
something like
I mean,
that.
the way I'm just thinking about it is that the policy is the framework for which we understand a policy and take vote on it. If we're gonna, and we always have the right to amend any policy, it's up to the board to amend policy. So amending, I guess amending the reasoning is specific to a certain select. So if you're gonna amend the reasoning to a previous select board, that doesn't make sense to me. But if you understood what the previous select board, the reason why they got to the policy, that seems important. And you could reflect on the reasoning separate from the policy and say, well, this is what that select board did in 2025. We're now in 2030. And we see it different because we understand this now. So let's just change the policy like this. And then that would just get added in at the amendments. But I mean, it's really kind of all, should be some fun meeting minutes, but I'm just saying if there's a way to.
So two things. One, I'm afraid to get lost, but it's separate, but.
Yeah.
The primary reason I wanted to do that was because the benefit of having, a core zoning code written the way that it is with statements of purpose and applicability for almost every standard
Mhm.
has been invaluable. And we refer to them constantly.
Mhm.
Read them out loud, go back and go over them, parse them. As much as we do apply the standards, if not more so.
Mhm.
And so that was the thinking, it's like, we don't have to have, purpose and applicability necessarily, but I really like that idea of having it integrated so that when you're having a conversation about whatever the case may be, if you have those statements available, you can read them. If you don't agree with them, change.
Yeah.
Maybe they can have a page just attached to it called background in Europe. It's like history, background, something like that.
Reasoning.
It's part of it. So if someone pulls up this policy, they're gonna actually, they can see that as well. And so I agree, we're gonna go hunting old minutes for the thought process behind it. Right?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, I get it. I'm just trying to keep it fluid going with the document, but the thing that you're really only voting on and amending in words is really just the policy.
Sure.
And I think that should be fairly easy.
So
Yeah. Yeah,
if your provider agency, you want to read the policy, you don't necessarily want to have to read all the background. So if it's clear that, okay, here's the policy, this is what I need to pay attention. And then there's this other page of stuff that's like, oh, well, that's good information, but doesn't really pertain to what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. So here, the other vital part of why I wanted to do it as part of the policy is because I want there to be words in there that frame how you think about policy. That aren't just here filler like background.
Yeah.
These are the words that we read that we've all agreed on. These are the words we read as we are applying the rules the policy states. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We can go back and say, we agreed, this is the way we're thinking about it. These are the 3 or 4 or 5 items that we've all agreed on are the reasons for establishing policy. And if, while we're talking about the standards, the rules of the policy, something doesn't jive with what we've stated, the policy is the reason for the policy, well, there's a problem, right? Without that, we've just got a policy that just says do this.
Because we said so.
Because we said so. We don't know why. We have nothing to bet against. We have no way to judge. And so it really wasn't, A, it was to organize my thoughts. B, it was to provide that insight. That perspective. That was it. So if we don't want to include them in this policy or future policies or any other policy, fine. I personally think they're really valuable to have in some way.
yeah, I mean, an easy reference, some kind of way to easy reference those thoughts is a great thing. I mean, how many times we've been in the meeting where we've been trying to think of the backstory. How did we get here? And it's always, and thankfully Kevin, as he gets sort of business or the back end, the back of the house sort of organized, he's always like,
Easier
okay,
to find.
here's where it happened, and he's got links now and everything. It's like, you know, it's good like that. But my thinking is beyond that, I think it's also the prerogative of every board and the dynamics of every board to figure out what you want to do on any policy. I mean, so you're always subject, no matter what the history is, to any board changing. You know, at any given point and being like, yeah, that was nice, but you know, this is what we're gonna do.
Oh, I completely agree. I don't disagree. However, imagine the 5 of us gone 10 years from now, new board, no one's looked at this policy in 10 years,
Which is likely.
which could happen,
Yeah, no,
right?
Has happened.
Okay. Without. They'd read it, and as I think we've all done with old policies, gone, why were they doing that? Like, what were they thinking? Like, what was the reasoning behind that? That doesn't make any sense. And only that, like, okay, this is what the policy says. We gotta change it because we don't understand why that policy is written that way. Times have changed. We think about it differently now. Great, we'll change it. It would just be nice to have those, well, this is what I'm thinking. Because of this, because of this, because of this. Well, now that 1, 2, and 3 goes up.
Yeah.
So let's just change it.
yeah,
Fine. But without it, you're like, well, let's just, can the whole thing, and start fresh. With them in there, it made you pause, it made you think, okay, they were thinking about it this way. Does that still apply? It made you pause. It made me pause.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. I'm beating a dead horse here.
I think, like, especially the first couple that you said, I do like those, and it would be nice if that anyone filling out the forms or reading the policy, knew that's where we were coming from.
As a brand new select board member,
Mhm.
I'd read the policy and go, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do there,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't know wrong.
So I don't know if there's a way we can, Kevin doesn't like the whereas.
He doesn't.
It sounds too legally easy, maybe, but maybe there's a way to incorporate just a couple sentences in this statement of purpose.
so let's just keep this on the table for now, okay?
Does that Kevin remind
And we'll Kevin revise it. Yeah, we'll reflect this conversation to Kevin and see what he can make of it and come back at our next meeting, maybe.
And the agency looking to see what wants. It's nice. It would make me feel a little bit better.
Well, I-
Read some statements.
I mean, I can appreciate what Ben's saying, and I think if that's an idea or a concept, it could influence other policies that we have, you know, so moving forward, you know, there could be some other sort of influence on that. So it could be valuable, but let's talk to the town manager.
The only other point of, or question that I had was in the tier 1. The 2 different vetting options. Michelle and I talked about this a little bit, and it goes to scheduling. It goes to scheduling and budgets. So in the first one, we set the deadline for, the last business day of December. For the, does that say that? So,
Yeah, that's,
for the formal petition. And then I had put in the last business day of February for the second one. And actually, I think what I want to do is eventually, so the idea was to give one of the options if you don't want to go, like originally, you don't want to do a formal petition. Right? Or if you realize you've already missed the deadline. And you can't do a formal petition anymore, there's still an avenue because there's still some time left before the warrant is set and budget meeting typically doesn't really happen yet. In December.
Mhm.
And I know Michelle is very nervous about this because we have to order printed warrants.
Yeah, everything's gonna shift ahead.
Right.
So
But
we're doing our background budget stuff.
Right.
We bring it to you.
Mhm.
And so that's why we usually, and traditionally it's been December anyway. And it just happens to work out. But we have wiggled it for people if they want to go shoot it in there, because for you, somebody new. If you want something.
so what did you had proposed, like February or
I
something?
suppose last day of February, that even if we're doing referendum town meeting, we're gonna be having our budget meeting in January and February.
Mhm. Yeah.
And to receive a request. And maybe February is not the right time, but have a little more wiggle room in there. Where they could do this other option,
Mhm.
might just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Obviously, it's gonna be vetted differently, right?
And depending on when we end up having our workshops, so if we don't have this to come in at the end of our workshops.
Yeah,
Because someone's gonna have to come in and talk to us, right, so we hopefully get a little. We don't want it at the last second, it'd be nice if they could do it, you know. Early enough that we have time to discuss it in budget meetings. Workshops.
It would be, rather than date, would it be second to last budget meeting? This one.
yeah.
I mean, we schedule out all of our meetings as we're all set.
Parties,
no.
Yeah. No, that's not a bad idea.
We'll just make sure that we're discussing provider agency funding. The last meeting of the budget cycle or something like that.
I mean, I don't know that really matters necessarily other than the time involved for the presentation, because it's just a number. Right? We're gonna talk about it, but we're gonna be able to put it on the mind or not.
Right, because we've already done provider agencies, and we have to go back and revisit it.
Wait,
And
this,
usually municipal, this stuff comes up fairly early, because we're waiting on.
can I just suggest that maybe end of February is making the staff finances nervous? Maybe we just make it like January 31st.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that month between December and February.
I mean,
That's fine.
because I mean, end of December, holiday season, you know, it's always a little bit chaotic and people are like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, let's revise it if
Right.
it seems problematic.
That's right.
I didn't know if it was a good idea.
No, it's nice to give the people a, oh. Here's, you didn't quite get there on time, but here's another way to go about it. Like, we don't want to close you out entirely here. Do it this way and maybe you'll still get the fine. Good luck.
Okay,
So it just feels like. To me, if I was a nonprofit requesting $1,000 from the town, it would feel like, oh my God, I had to get the request in by the last day of December and they're not voting on it until June.
Mhm.
Yeah.
6 months early? Really?
That's how we roll around here.
I'm just, I get that, I just, you know. That's fun.
okay, well, so we're good. There's no action on that.
We have, just to, where we have a policy. From previously noted, further that we can give to the agencies at this point, so that they can. follow
Yeah.
the process.
Mhm.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah,
It's been called.
huh. Well, good. At least they're on top of things. All right, okay, let's put that to rest. Moving on to new business, item 6A, Maine Municipal Association Risk Reduction Grant. Looks like, I wish this was 30,000. It looks like a $3,000 grant for some electronic equipment, cameras, security systems, et cetera. The keypad locks for 2 buildings, so.
I applied for it like. Almost, I caught it. So, I'm
Good.
really happy we were approved and so when Kevin gets back, we can purchase if you guys approve that. And then we can secure the buildings, which is really great.
Okay,
Thanks, Michelle.
thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
I'll
Oh, you go ahead.
I'll move, I
Go
will
ahead.
move to accept the grant funding for $3,000 and to move forward with the purchase of 2 camera security systems and 2 keypad doors.
Second,
Okay, Rufus, motion and Karen's seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Great, motion passes. Roads closed for Halloween. Okay, so, kind of straightforward, right? We're gonna, ask the sheriff to close the roads, Glidden Street, Pump Street, Cross Street, and, or Stewart Street, right? To basically cut off the neighborhood from traffic and, yeah, is that all there is to it? Okay, I see a comment request from a resident. Katharina, you have a question?
When Kevin sent out an email asking the residents of the area. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. I'd like to take back what I said because it has unforeseen consequences. One, first, is there a problem?
According to
there is.
neighbors, there is.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
cars driving down the road with all the kids running around.
I would like, one is that the Shuck Shack is open. I checked, they are going to be open. If you close the road, you're closing access to their business.
Think it could be closed, and this, I think probably we can determine where the road gets closed. I think we could probably close it at the, at your neighbor's house instead of at the end of the street.
You mean so down Pump Street?
Yeah, down,
Yeah, we're-
so we would leave access to the town office parking lot. and the
Oh,
bus
okay.
station.
Yeah.
I think that would.
I would like to propose that you close that you leave Cross Street open. And that you leave open that first little section of Glidden Street where the church is. And in front of my house or side of my house. It provides 25 parking spots.
Mhm.
And it means that you can come in, park and go out. So, my other thought is if you don't let anybody in, there is no place to park. And I think it's more dangerous crossing Business Route 1 than it is walking down Glidden Street. Where are these families going to park their cars?
Well, so most of them don't. When things really get going, most families pull up right at the end of Glidden Street.
Well,
I'm-
where at the end of?
No, they just stop in the road. Kids get out and they keep going.
Oh, the parents just drop the kids
The
off.
parents just drop the kids off.
Or they're parking at
Or they're-
church.
Or they're
Yeah.
parking in Damascata.
In Damascata,
you know, wherever they're parking. Yeah, I mean, we've been on Glidden Street the past 2 years now.
And it's a problem?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's a major problem. There were a couple of cars that came up, I wanna say about 7:30. When there were 500 kids. And it probably took that car 30 minutes. To get through it.
And
Okay.
it's likely that they turned onto the street not expecting what was going on there. And so to have the road just closed is gonna keep people that don't realize the foot traffic volume during those hours, it's gonna keep them from making that mistake. Because I can't imagine anybody would knowingly try to run to Hanny's real quick, that lives up in the street.
What I realized from your comments is that Glidden Street is far busier than Cross.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cross, but yeah, it's all crazy. I mean, it all gets really.
Well, and if the problem with leaving Cross and Pump open is that then there's no outlet. So cars would, if we just closed Glidden Street and left those other streets open, then they're all of a sudden a dead end street and there's no good turn.
Basically, Glidden will be up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that.
So it's just a thought
Yeah.
because,
No, and it's not a bad thought because you're right. I mean, there is the parking for the Episcopal Church. I feel like if we were to close Glidden Street at the end of the parking lot,
Up the hill, you let
Yeah.
people park on it.
Kinda can't decide because either way, you're inviting disaster.
I know.
what, you mean, okay, closing it,
If you close it like, at Business Route 1.
It's
That's
just not an
probably the safest.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you close it, I understand when wanting to keep the parking, up above Sproul's there. Open, but. People would turn on thinking that there's
yes,
a way to get through and then there's no way to turn around.
and there's no parking. And
And
there's
no
500
parking,
kids.
And there's 500 kids.
Yeah.
There's more than 500.
Well,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like madness.
It is, man.
I just dropped a big box of candy off neighbors there. Here,
Yeah.
you have all the kids.
Yeah, good luck, right, exactly.
okay, well,
But maybe.
No, I just, like I said, obviously, there's much more traffic on Glidden than there is on Cross, because,
You don't get that many kids,
oh, well, we get about 200, but.
but.
Not 1,200, because that's what, you know, people that I know on Glidden Street say they buy 1,200 pieces of candy.
Okay,
all the
so,
time.
so no, we don't get 1,200. And I would also say that most of the kids, their parents are standing in the road. Okay,
Does it? Would it cause the same problems if we left Pump Street open? I guess it's easy if it's just to the end of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Or the town office.
I think-
I know people park up all the way up to your house normally.
which I understand, I
Right,
don't
but
have a
that's-
problem with.
But if you limit, if you don't let them, if you had let them go up that way, I think that's gonna be some turnaround.
Exactly.
No, you can't
Right.
go past that,
Yeah.
no, yeah.
Right.
But I did check and the Shuck Shack is going to be open.
Mm.
So they do need access.
I think that's fine if we close, pump right after, you know, at the town.
At the end of the parking lots.
That makes
Yeah.
sense, there's still room to turn around there, if somebody, you know,
Right.
knows. it's
Right, there's
really
parking
big
lots both
park.
sides of the road.
You can around and get out of there. Once you get down the road a little bit, you're done.
Oh, so much to think about. Oh, David, yeah, you live on Glidden Street?
Yes, so, let me just tell you a little bit about my experience, so. 2 years ago, 800, you know, I give one piece to one person, try to, little shrinkage, but, you know, we keep the packages that have the numbers, so I think the numbers are pretty good. Last year, 750. And what I've seen is, you know, 4 o'clock or 4:30, I arrive to enjoy the excitement, but the light is still out and there's small kids maybe being pushed by strollers. But as soon as the lights go out, just the mobs come in. Last year, and I think maybe the year before, the deputy was parked sort of closer to the other end of Pump Street, middle of the road, with the lights
Sort of
on.
parked at the end of Cross Street on Glidden Street.
Yeah, or in
Yeah, in
between
between.
Cross and
Yeah.
Pump there, the lights going, so that does slow people down, but the kids are just running on and they come up to my house and then they head to go down the street, but they don't go back to the driveway to go down.
Yeah.
There's a hill and some of them just slide
Yeah.
right down and they slip on the things. And there could be cars coming there. And it's dark, there's a lot of people running around, and if you're driving down, you probably can't focus on every child there is, especially when there's adults on the road too. You're looking up there, the kids are down here. And the condition of Glidden Street currently with a lot of sinkholes, it's gonna be extra dangerous this year. I mean, there's some holes that you don't even see because it's raised up, and then the one by my house was raised up, but it drops down on the other side. So if you come in this way, your tire goes down. But so with those hazards, I'm definitely encourage you to close it. My question is though, do you leave it still open for local traffic only? So if I don't get home until 5:30, you close it at 5. Do I walk to my house or do I drive there with a candy saying, I gotta get to the other end? I gotta get to the-" You know, or instead of being beat down on the other end. And would you just have the deputies at the closer points or their barricades? Because it would still be good to have a deputy in the neighborhood too.
I think that.
Yeah.
You know, just to keep an eye on some of the mischievous people who may or may not be there. But you know, what I was thinking is maybe you have just the barriers and a sign that says, you know, closed to everything but local traffic. And hopefully people will be honest about what's local. Or maybe we just put out information, if you're not home by 5, then forget it.
And good luck.
Yeah, you know, but so I'm just worried about that and the condition of the road, but highly think it's important that we, you know, shut off that neighborhood and
Mhm.
try it as an experiment this year. See if it works. I've been here for 25 years. We've always said, oh, we should shut off the road, we shut off the road, and nobody's actually brought it to the board
Uh-huh.
until recently and the forecast I heard for this morning says maybe rain tapering off to the afternoon, so I don't know which way that would go. Would that keep people away or the fact that, oh, it's shut off now, so bust them in from everywhere. We may regret what we're asking for. And we may get closer to the 1,200 that Rufus friends experienced. I haven't experienced that, but you know, we shut off, we're done. I'm thinking generally around 7:30. I'm surprised about the cars at the end of 7:30,
Yeah,
but
it's still a lot.
but I'm not worried. You can go to midnight as far as I'm concerned, but 5 to whatever makes sense.
Is it-
And
5 to 8 is the proposal,
is it?
and that seems. I think after 8 o'clock, at least most of the crowds have been down.
The little kids.
The little kids are
Right.
gone.
The little kids are-
Oh, well, and I'll tell you who we get around that time of high schoolers with no costume,
Yeah.
just want to
That's what they
stand.
show up looking
And
at, yeah.
always saying, well, what are you supposed to be dressed as? And depending on how sharp they are for their wise ass answer, will be whether or not I dig for something that's left over or not. For,
Foot boxes and raisins are fun.
There you go. It's really, here's a potato.
Yeah.
It's like, so I better not get egged, by the way, for the comment.
Well, I think you're right on, and I think if Pumpkin Fest this year taught us nothing, is that unless you have the deputy, barricades mean nothing,
Right.
nothing. Because they lined Main Street with those barricades and people were walking, if there wasn't someone watching them, they were walking out into the street and on the outside of the
Yeah,
barricade
yeah.
to avoid the crowded sidewalk. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I would say I had no idea that you were so busy on Glidden.
Oh, we're crazy.
I feel like I'm saving a lot of money on.
It's not-
Glidden.
Oh, no,
Pull it.
I'm gonna ask every visitor, have you gone down to Newcastle?
She's
She's got good
she's got full
stuff.
candy bars down there.
My husband is eating.
Oh,
the
okay.
kids.
Uh,
So thank you very much.
Yeah.
yeah.
You've explained it a little bit better to me, and I appreciate your looking into this.
Well, thanks for bringing up the Shell station issue.
Yeah,
too.
yes,
I
that's
love
important.
that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think experimentally, I think we should just do what we were just talking about. Like After-
the Shark Station.
after
Yeah.
Truck Station and
But-
Glidden Street, right at
Right,
Main
yeah,
Street,
yeah.
like, yes, there is parking there, but
And
there's no turn.
Yeah, no, right at the
Yeah.
crosswalk.
And
Yeah.
then Stewart Street on Mills? Is it-
Yeah, on Mills.
Okay, because that's
Because
really
there's no,
dark.
that's
Yeah.
unlit
Yeah.
and there's no sidewalk.
Yeah.
and-
There's nowhere to turn around.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all practical, that means 3 deputies instead of the 1 that we normally have. So,
Will last.
yeah,
what-
but it's a good investment. I think, it's safe.
Well, it's an awful lot of people.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, but it's cool. I mean,
It's a great thing to
I
have.
can't-
down.
I can't believe it, when I've been there, I'm like, holy cow. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's,
I mean, I think that people at the store think we have a problem. Buying candy every week and like, slow down.
Local residents, we asked whoever's to be manning the barricades.
To use their discretion.
Use their discretion. Someone, here's my driver's license, see my address, the
Yeah.
citizens. Blocking Stewart, it's just.
yeah, but just, for local traffic, Yeah, I mean, you gotta-
He needs to be allowed. to do
Yeah.
that, Obviously, and there needs, I think there's gotta be a deputy, because if emergency vehicles.
Need to get
Yeah.
in, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then that's
Yeah.
that, right, they need to be. So,
Well, a deputy, or we could ask the volunteer fire department to man. To man,
and,
if
or
the
like Stewart
deputies,
Street.
yeah, or something like that, if the deputies are, if there aren't enough of them available,
We have an
maybe,
emergency vehicle.
yeah, park the lunch wagon down.
if they don't have kids.
Right,
Yeah, I will say that the fire department does do.
oh, there's the trunk or treat, that's right,
So, and it does run at the same time.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
It might be hard to get, I mean. we managed to get enough people that don't have kids that.
Yeah.
They're showing up to man and buy trucks and stuff. See the kids that come in and stuff like that, it might get tight
Okay,
and hour wise.
Yep.
But it's just more fast.
It's seeing three deputies moving,
Tricky.
Yeah.
tricky on Halloween week.
Yeah.
In which case we have to back up my. Tap, one of those cash strips.
I mean, will you also have the streetlights on? Cause oftentimes they're down low or my end of the streets are off and the front ends are on. So I would think it was, yes,
maybe on.
That's a
Halloween night,
different
they should be
story, but-
all-
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I could see a barricade being effective at the end of Stewart Street. You know,
Yeah,
because, you know, if you're like, oh, I can't go through there right now. I don't think,
Maybe some people flash or.
well, yeah.
So
I mean, they're reflective.
I've got a
Yeah.
big orange dump truck. That's clean it.
That'd be man, but it's, it needs to be open.
Yeah.
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 Don't go through.
No, I think you just put barricade on the side.
Yeah.
On one side.
Yeah,
Just
just,
not mean.
well, no, I mean, to the entry of,
Oh, I get it.
yeah,
Yeah, people will just go.
There
right
you go.
over. Now, it does have to be, you're absolutely. Someone's.
Hmm.
We should at least notify the residents that it's happening.
Yeah, I've lost all faith in humanity when it comes to driving, just with the roundabout. Have you tried navigating that in past couple?
which one?
They're doing it on one,
The new one?
yeah. the
It's not
ones
open.
going- No, I know,
Yeah.
but when the light turns red, another 20 cars go through.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
No, I see what you're
they're
saying.
over in the wrong lane and then they stop. I mean, you wouldn't believe I've taken videos and pictures of people just doing bonkers, absurd stuff.
I guess my theory was something's better than nothing.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
if we can't get three bodies and
Yes,
cruisers to
yes.
stand there, something's gotta be. Yeah. That would be good.
I'll make a motion then, no one made a motion.
Nope.
To authorize the sheriff's office to close Glidden Street, Pump, Cross, and Stewart Street to vehicular traffic from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Friday, October 31st, 2025.
Second that.
Okay. any other-
Specifics to be managed by the county.
I think, yeah, and yeah, I think that's good. Okay, you're good with that
Yeah.
motion? All those in favor? Great.
Thank you.
You guys.
It's a soft tax. Um. All right, fiscal warrant, no, item number 7, a FY 26 AP warrant for $417,000, $417,447.30. Discussion, comments,
McCann
Question.
Farms.
excuse me?
What's up?
This one's very well done too.
At the counter, we have several different type of people, and so we just wanna be able to move the monitor.
Yeah.
Right now, they're on paper.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
good. I was just like, what are they? What is that?
And what did they powder coated? I can answer that too.
We had, we got a free, Shelley was able to get us a free new absentee ballot drop box. But it was just the lumen, like it was not painted.
Mm.
So she was able to find a really good deal. We were unable to get it set up for this election, but hopefully for the next election.
The old.
Yeah, so it's still, people can still use the drop box is fine by the door, but
Mhm.
eventually that'll be just for town business and we'll have a separate one for absentees.
And this is,
We think we're gonna fasten it to the building on the other side of the heat.
all right, any other discussion? All those in favor? Motion passes 5 members, and I don't think we have anything else. Town manager report is not applicable tonight. Um, so, yeah. He's hanging out with Tom Brady, is what he's doing. Okay, that's all we got. So, without objection. Nice job, Michelle. Without objection, meeting's adjourned at 7:55.
No.